2007. If his reaction is anything to go by, then there's going to be quite a lot of anger here at this presidential pardon by Donald Trump of those 4 contractors, as you say. 14 people were killed in Nassau Square on that day. The man we spoke to, a man called Hassan Jabbar, he is a lawyer. He was traveling through the square at the time with his son, who was in his 20s at the time. They were both shot in the chest. They suffered serious injuries. His son's injuries were severe enough for him to have lost a lung. And in his words, he described this decision by President Trump to pardon these men as a complete betrayal of human rights, a total disaster. He said that he was utterly shocked. He said that throughout all these years, he'd had faith in the American judicial system. He said that this decision means that that faith has now completely disappeared. And as I say, he's very shocked at this decision. Now, we haven't heard from any of the other victims or families of those victims, but we can expect that a similar reaction will be given as we go ahead today. But yeah, shock and disbelief, certainly from the victim that we spoke to.
Charles, it's been, what, 13 years now? But this was a major turning point in the way that the world viewed private security in conflicts. Can you remind us, well, our viewers, of some of the context here?
Yeah, this incident happened at what is fair to say was one of the worst times in the chaos of the aftermath of the US-led invasion of 2003. There was a lot of sectarian violence. There were various different militias fighting each other. Allied forces were coming under daily attack by people like Al-Qaeda. There was a lot of panic and chaos in the capital and all around Iraq at the time. But this private security company, Blackwater, was notorious anyway, way before this incident happened. It had been accused of causing unprovoked attacks, opening fire without being provoked, on numerous occasions before then. A convoy of Blackwater vehicles had been going through on this sort of square in the centre of Baghdad. It was a crowded area, and according to them, they were approached by a vehicle that they feared was a suicide bomber. They opened fire, and as you say, 14 people were killed and at least 20 injured. And the incident highlighted the very controversial use of private contractors. Now, Blackwater were being hired by the State Department. They'd done work for the CIA as well. So this incident, which got them banned in Iraq, basically forced a lot of focus on the use of these contractors. And it's fair to say that America's image in Iraq has suffered hugely as a result of that image. And many people say that the insurgency was further fueled by that incident. Anger increased and attacks against Americans, against US allied forces and against Iraqis increased substantially after that attack by Blackwater.
Charles Stratford there for us in Baghdad, staying across that reaction for us, and he'll continue to do that. Charles, thanks so much. Now, Qatar has begun a mass COVID-19 vaccination campaign. Elderly people and health workers are the first to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech jabs. A shipment of those doses arrived on Monday. People with chronic illnesses will also be among those being prioritised for that inoculation. Well, our correspondent Osama bin Javed is at a clinic in Doha where those vaccines are being rolled out. Osama, has it been busy there this morning?
Well, health officials are calling this a milestone in the fight against COVID because this vaccine, the Pfizer-BioNTech jabs, have been given to the first patients here in the AlJazeera clinic in Doha. With us to discuss that further is Dr. Soha Al-Bayad, the head of vaccinations at the Ministry of Public Health. Thank you very much for being with us. Tell us, this vaccine has 95% efficacy, and 70% of the population needs to be vaccinated for it to work properly. How hopeful are you, and what's the timeline that you're working on?
First of all, thank you for this invitation, and I hope that we can give the public some information that will relieve some of the fears or questions that they have about the COVID-19 vaccine. I would like to first explain what 90 or 95% effectiveness means. It means that out of those who took the vaccine, about 90 to 95% of them developed sufficient antibodies to protect them from the infection, which